How's it going, guys? Quick recap. Have a M4A1 CQBR licensed Colt licensed cyber gun, airsoft gun that I purchased from Dick's Sporting Goods a year and a half or a year ago or whatever. Um, had great, very pleased with the gun. Had great use of it out in my yard and stuff. I haven't played any games or tournaments or anything like that yet. Getting there, just not there yet. Uh, when I purchased the gun, I did kind of look into it to verify that it was a good gun, like something that you could later on expand upon and make better. Um, I like customizing things. I really like tinkering with stuff and modifying them. So for me to buy a cheap gun and build it myself is a lot better for me than just to spend the five, six, $700 and get a really good gun. Because I'd still turn around and tear all the internals out and build it myself. So basically in the other video I broke down, kind of went through full detail of the gun as it was, and I went through all the new parts that I got. There's been some issues with the parts that I purchased, but I'll get into that. Um, so real quickly, we're going to just do a quick overview. So when I purchased the firearm, or the airsoft gun, it's not a firearm, this is the barrel that was on it. It was a standard uh, four-sided Picatinny rail system with a couple handguards, your standard A-pillar iron sight, orange flash supplier. Uh, it's a 10-inch barrel, I believe, overall. Um, nothing special about this at all. It came with a couple of plastic polymer hand grip covers to cover the Picatinny, and that's really it. It's a brass. Don't know where I put it. It came with a standard brass inner barrel, a 10-inch brass inner barrel, pretty cheap hop-up system. Pretty much that's it. That'll help a little bit. So just a very basic barrel. Nothing nothing special. It has the I'm assuming, mind you, just because the new barrel I bought fits. I believe this is what they consider a TM spec, or I'm guessing TM stands for Tokimori spec. I'm not totally sure, but that's what it seems like. But it has a very standard M4 barrel connection, from what I can tell. Um, so we went from this to this. I'm not gonna be able to get it all in frame, but um, so I'm dropping airsoft pellets here. So what we're looking at is a huge difference. I mean, you're talking a significant double the length at easy. This is 10 inches. Um, if we go down to just a straight barrel length, I purchased a 15-inch outer barrel. I do not have a standard end on here yet, so it's a 15-inch outer barrel. It has a 14.5-inch handrail, handguard, with a full Picatinny top section. It's not a 100% perfect fit. I will say that right off the bat. I don't know if you could see. Let's see, get this turned. So you can see there's a slight gap in there. Right here. Just a real slight gap in between the two pieces. I think that has to do with some of the things about this being full polymer. The whole upper, lower, all that's a plastic. I say it's plastic. It's polymer, I'm sure, of some kind. To me, it's plastic. I don't care. Um, it may not ever been actually meant to upgrade to this level. I'm sure there's some leniency that they expected you to upgrade this low level of a gun to do, but I don't know if they meant you to go this far to a full aluminum rail system. So the rail system that I put on here is an Aries M-Lock Octa Arms system. I went with this mainly because my real AR rifle has a very similar handguard, and I absolutely love the way it looks. It's just a very kind of sleek, simple rundown, and it's comfortable to grip. It's not overly aggressive on your hand like with the Picatinny all the way around, and I like the fact that I can put the Picatinny where I want. If I don't need it anywhere, I don't have to have it anywhere. The inner barrel, or I'm sorry, the outer barrel is a, I want to make sure I get this right. Yes, it's an APS 15-inch outer barrel. It's got some slight fluting down the sides. Very basic, boring, basic and simple is what I wanted. I wanted it when you looked through it, there was nothing really fancy. I almost bought. They've got these new colored smooth barrels that are by EMG, I believe. I almost went that route, but I decided to keep this rifle relatively simple. And to reiterate, I really like to snipe. I'm really big into the whole DMR style, sniping style. I like to take my time, pick my targets, go like that, in pretty much any aspect of video games, airsoft, paintball, you name it. That's just the way I prefer to do things. So, we have it's a 300 and, let's see if it says on here. I think it's a, I know the barrel, so this is a 378 millimeter handrail outer system. The outer barrel is a 378, no, it's a 15 inch, so it's 385, I believe it. Yeah, I think it's 385 millimeter outer barrel. Like I said, so the handrail is a Aries, the outer barrel is an APS. The inner barrel, I changed the inner barrel and I went to an Angel Customs 6.03 stainless steel inner barrel. This is where my issues come in. So I did the rough math of my outer barrel is 385, so I was like a 388 inner barrel will work. Yes, but I forgot to take in consideration the hop up and how much it draws it back in. So actually right now my inner barrel is dropped down inside of the outer barrel and it's not going to work. Which is fine. I got a new inner barrel on the way. The downside to the 6.03 is, at least through Evike, they do not have a like 390 on the 6.03, at least like I said that I saw, which is probably what I needed, or probably like a 395 would probably work, and it would bring out a little bit. But I have a 388 inner barrel, and it's not quite the right length. It's I mean, I can move the inner barrel so it's not touching, but the inner barrel is legitimately right here, pretty much right where the fat part goes skinny for the threads. So I got a new barrel on the way. I actually went ahead and ordered a 550 millimeter inner barrel for a couple reasons. So one of the original thoughts was I was gonna buy like just a muzzle tip to put on this, and I could run it as a 15-inch barreled gun for CQB. And then I purchased this, which is also an Angels Customs Hive mock suppressor barrel extender. Now it's hollow on the inside, so there's no actual barrel tube in. If you want, they have a step up from this one, where it's the same 160. Ooh, I am so sorry. Same 160 millimeters. So this is 160 millimeters. So it's like 6.2 inches long. But they have this in various colors, so you can get the honeycomb pattern in this gray. You can get it in tan. I think OD green. But they're all the same size. There's two sizes of each version. So you have a 130 millimeter size and you have a 160 millimeter. I went with the longer because I wanted to basically make my gun a DMR. So I wanted to get as maximum length barrel as I could, which is roughly 21. Well, I'm sorry, not the maximum. I can go a lot further than 21 inches. But for a DMR, DMRs are typically, from my research, 21-inch long barrels are greater. So I was like, 21 inch would be good, and then I could slap this, take this off, and go CQB. But because of my inner barrel issue, and I don't really want to buy a new outer barrel to sink it down because I really like the way this one's laid out, kind of. I just decided to get a longer inner barrel that will actually go into this, and theoretically it should come right to the edge if I've done my math correct. But this one is a completely hollow system. There's nothing on the insides, and I don't know if I have the grip in my hand to take it apart again. Whatever. You can, though, get something that has a power-up feature and, I believe, a tracer unit in size. But it actually has an internal barrel, and it somehow will amplify your FPS. I don't quite know how that works, but it has a tracer unit, has FPS, all that jazz. So the reason I didn't go with that one is because my initial thought was I wanted this to go down inside the handrail a little bit so that it was a continual smooth diameter all the way out. Now, for anybody that's curious, with this Aries M-Lock handrail, the hive will fit down inside of it, and it's a very nice fit. It's got a couple mils, so it's not scraping or anything. Like, you can put it in there and thread it on just nice and easy, and you've got a perfect amount of space around, and it fills it very nicely. I don't remember the diameter on this guy off the top of my head, but mine does not do that. As you can tell, it sticks out a little bit. So, and I kind of want to keep it that way. And I've decided that I will not be taking the hive off. I will just leave the hive on, and I will just run it full DMR setup all the time. And I'll just buy a good secondary that will be my close quarters, and maybe even a third, just as a full-on backup. But I feel like the layout and the design that I've got going on here works really well. You got the nice honeycomb pattern with the straight M-Lock, just a nice, smooth, simple design. So what started all this is the fact that my magazine broke. I had a high capacity mag, not a big fan of the concept of a high capacity mag. Realism's not there. There just seems like a lot of moving parts that can fail, which mine did. Which doesn't matter though. So I bought a mid-cap polymer mag, and while I was doing it, I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna make a sniper rifle. I really want a sniper rifle, and I thought about purchasing a $700 sniper rifle, but I was like, you know what, this will be more fun. So yeah, I thought about going to a shorter outer barrel so I didn't have to change my inner barrel, which would bring this down inside or right to the edge. But after seeing it like this, I kind of fell in love with it. It just has that really nice, tactical, simple look. Um, so, went from a 10-inch to this really nice, overall, roughly 21-inch long rifle, or barrel, not rifle. Uh, so yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be a tack driver, as much as an airsoft gun can be. Um, I I had great success with my targeting with this, so I'm not worried about it like losing a whole lot of quality. The rifle out of the box was max of like 340, 360 FPS. I have not done anything to the internals just yet, partially because I don't know the field regulations around me, because we really don't have any airsoft fields around me. There's some that are, all of them are multi-hours away, 2-3 hours away. There's not even airsoft stores around me. The closest like legitimate airsoft store that I know of is 2.5 hours north of me, and then there's another one that's like 3 hours east of me. So I have nothing around me. Um, so that's why I do a lot of stuff, or I've been doing everything pretty much through Evike or going to Dick's Sporting Goods and purchasing my first rifle. Before, you know, this had iron sights. I didn't use the iron sights. I have a, True Glow, just basic red dot sight that I had on it for the most part, but it's on my real AR at the moment. Um, that I just go in my backyard and practice shooting. But since this is now going to be a DMR sniper rifle style, I had to get a new sight, and you know, it's it's got to have a scope. It can't not have a scope. I feel it can't not have a scope. So I was able to pick up this guy today on my way home. Nothing super fancy. It is a Field and Stream 4x32 scope. Nothing crazy. It comes with some uh, rail mounts already in it. I was able to get the last one they had in stock, so that was kind of nice. Um, so let's see what we can. I'm just gonna preemptively mount this on here. I'm not gonna like map it out just yet. All right, so yeah, that looks okay. I may have to buy some Picatinny risers to get it so the cheek well is in the proper spot, but that's alright. It's no big deal. Those are cheap. So yeah, so it's just a standard optic, just a basic 4x32 optic. Um, and if you're, you know, if, I'm sure you, as most of you know, the scope is not so much for the method of reaching out and touching someone. It's more of being able to track our BBs at long distance. You know, probably 20 yards, you can still see the BB okay. But especially if you're sniping and you're trying to get down and be that far, you know, that far watcher, you really gotta be able to watch where your BB's going and making sure that you're in the proper zones and you're not gonna have to do some adjustments on this thing because she's crooked. That's actually not too bad. I may bring it back a couple spots, but yeah. So this is. Sorry, I wear black. It's black. Backdrop ain't helping. um, so yeah, so we have a 4x32 scope on now. I have a set of 45-degree cantered um, flip up iron sights that have fiber optics in them on the way, so that I can canter them just off to the right here, so that I, you know, if I do get into that scenario of needing to go close quarters, I can just canter over and just go into full auto and lay some suppressive fire down, go back into standard, put it back into single shot, and do my sniping. Um, I was going to change the buttstock out to a fixed buttstock that had a bottom to it that kind of gave it this little bit just more unique style. I don't know if I'm going to do that now because I don't know if it'll fit in my gun bag without a collapsible stock. Because my stock's not even in its full outreach position, and it doesn't look like it's going to fit. And right now, it's not going to collapse all the way because I didn't adjust the wires in here properly just yet. But yeah, so we went from a standard hop-up system that come with the gun, which had the side rotary, I'm going to say pinwheel style, and we had upgraded it to a so it went from the side wheel, very cheap system, to a vertical rotary, is what I'm going to call it, where it's straight up and down. You slide it this way instead of sliding it this way. Seems a little bit more accurate. That is a matrix system, if I remember correctly. So we have an Angel Customs Hive Mock suppressor and barrel extender. We have an APS outer barrel, an Angel Customs G2 SUS 304 6.03 inner barrel, a Matrix version 2 hop-up setup, the Ares M-Lock outer barrel, and sorry, the other things that are throwing me off on my list are my my Matrix, or my Avengers polymer magazine, and then I also purchased a 6mm Pro reloader. Part of the reason being is that's quiet. That's fully loaded and it's quiet. And then there's this. I don't want to hear that. I hate that. So we went with this more realistic look. It looks like my mag pulls for my real gun, so I kind of really like that. I really like kind of having a match. It just, I don't know. I don't know why. It kind of just brings it together. It's almost like they're mine. Um, so we'll actually go ahead and slide this back a couple tabs here. But yeah, so that's where we stand. I got some 45-degree fiber optic flip ups coming. Um, I have an M-Lock specific bipod that I'm going to purchase, but instead of the bipod coming under the bottom of the barrel, mine will be connecting to the side M-Lock rails, so that when the legs come up, it looks more like it's an integrated, kind of like the DSR 50 rifles, where the bipod is actually integrated into the handrail of the rifle. I really love that look, so that's what I'm going to go with, and that way I could put a laser or a flashlight or something right here in the bottom underneath. I will probably take my angle grip or get an angle grip similar to that's on my AR and put on here, or I may go to a magwell grip that has the pressure switch in it so I can run a laser or something, and haven't quite figured that out yet. I really look forward to getting out and shooting this bad boy though. Like I said, we're running roughly a 21-inch barrel now with this beautiful scope. I mean, uh, really looking forward to it. The future plans, I guess I'll get to that. The future plans will be to upgrade the internals. This rifle being a cheaper rifle did come with a version 2 gearbox, which is nice because it's fully upgradable. And so I'm planning on getting a chrono so I can see what my FPS is now with all these extensions without the internals updates. I would like to bump it up quite a bit. It was at 340, but that was with the 10-inch barrel and stuff, so I'm imagining with a 21-inch barrel I'm probably going to lose some FPS. But at the same time, I'm going to maintain, because I went from the standard brass barrel, which is probably gapped. I'm going to guess it's probably like a 6.10 or 6.10 or something gapping, where the new one's a 6.03, which has the claims of bumping your FPS 20 to 50 FPS depending on the BBs you're using. I did almost go to a 6.01 tight bore, but the ammo that I'm using, I don't really quite know its exact specs. It says it's a 6.0, but that could just be laziness, and they're not super high quality ammo like that you would get from a really good store. They're just some biodegradable things that I get from Dick's Sporting Goods, which they say they're match grade, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. So yeah, so we'll eventually potentially increase the piston, increase the spring. I want to put in a high torque long motor, so that I can run the higher springs and stuff. I haven't decided if I'm going to go to high torque or high speed, but I don't really plan on using this in full auto a whole hell of a lot, so I don't really know if I'd need the crazy amount of BBs going downrange. It has a pretty good amount in my opinion right now. I just don't, I'm not a big fan of full auto at times, I guess. Close quarters, I just don't see a purpose. But again, I'm in the mindset of make your shots count, not just waste ammo. Um, so yeah, so we'll upgrade everything on the internals eventually. Like I said, I've already upgraded the hop up and the barrel and all that jazz, so I should be okay on that front. I just need to upgrade the pistons, the springs, the gears, and the motor. And we'll probably upgrade the batteries. We'll upgrade the buttstock. I just don't know if I'll go to that one that I was originally talking about. I may just go to a different style collapsible, and I may reroute the batteries from the buttstock and take them up front to one of those whatever those things are, those P devices, or yeah, because I can't get the barrels in here now with this inner barrel, or the batteries inside here with the inner barrel. So yeah, but yeah, so I will continue to work on this guy here, and over time, hopefully, make a awesome DMR slash sniper rifle M4. And depending on how my funds go, possibly I'll just, like I said, I kind of want to make this a thing where I just take and customize airsoft guns and sell them, or yeah, maybe just build something custom and sell it. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Not really expecting anything from this, but I will say though, in hopefully the next couple months, I will have a better setup with the camera specifically. Right now, I'm using a drafting art table as my desk, and it's kind of unstable, so that's why there's a lot of shaking on the screen. And we're using my laptop's webcam, so that's why anytime I get close, the video kind of goes funky, it slows down or whatever. But hopefully soon I will have a stand to hold my laptop so it won't shake so much, a new desk, and I'll probably look into getting a webcam so that I can do maybe a top down on my parts as I go through the explanations. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to do the building on camera. I might, because I feel like there's some things that I was searching for that I had issues with when I was trying to build this one, or start the build of this one. Um, I know I kind of struggled with the whole inner and outer barrel issue, which nothing I ever really came over explained like a very good understanding of, if you're doing this much outer barrel, you need to have this much inner barrel, which is kind of why I'm in my predicament now with an inner barrel that's too short. I could be wrong. There could be out there. If anybody sees or knows a video or a site or whatever, please send it to me in the comments. I'd greatly help me in the future. But I'm sure it'll help somebody else. But yeah, so maybe I will do some slight builds on video as well, and just make it so that anybody has questions, they can say, "How do you do this?" And I'll do my best to explain it. Like yeah, so I think we'll just kind of end it at that, and hopefully this is enjoyed and not hated, and um, yeah. So I guess I'll do one last view, but this time we'll go ahead and slap the magazine in so you can see it in its full glory. And then that polymer mag, man, that polymer mag fits so much better than that metal mag that I have. So yeah, so we went from a 10-inch cheapo $150, $160 uh, Cybergun M4, and now we have a 21-inch long DMR. Um, and I'm gonna post links to all the components that I purchased, and to the actual DMR, or not DMR, to the actual Cybergun uh, M4 I had purchased. Evike does sell it. I don't know. There's a slight difference between the one that Evike sells and the one that I bought at Dick's Sporting Goods, and all that I can tell that the difference is this handguard. The one that Evike sells looks like a more traditional M1 or A1 style, where, you know, the smooth, no Picatinny. It's just a smooth plastic, rigid thing. I think that's considered an A1 handguard. I could be wrong. I'm not a expert on this stuff at all. So I will put links to that stuff so that if you want to build your own custom setup and start off on the cheap, or just start off on the cheap and have a gun to go to the field to play with and get familiar with the tactics and movements and practice movements, create your own tactics, build a squad with or whatever, and just go have fun with for temporary until you can build it, I'll put it in. And I'll put the description of every item that I purchased in the description of this video, and probably the description of the other video that will actually break down the weapon and the parts. So, alright guys, appreciate the time. Have a good day, and hopefully see you again.